Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture's My Life. Now, in this episode, I want to discuss certain things that can harm your mental health. And you see, many individuals overlook the fact that our mental health is an extremely important part of our overall health. And you see, our mental health can be easily influenced by many, or I should say various factors, or better yet, numerous factors. So to think that, because you go to the gym, you feel you're physically in shape when you look in the mirror. But for some reason, you're overlooking the fact that you don't feel in shape because you're sort of discounting the fact that your mental health is actually an important part of your physical health. Because you actually are what you think of yourself, not what the mirror is showing you. And you see, there are many individuals that can, let's say, go to the gym, exercise, jog, yoga, whatever. And even like go get cosmetic surgery, which I'm totally against. I am like so against that. And then stand in front of a mirror and feel good. But they don't pay attention to the fact that when they walk away from that mirror, shortly afterwards, they're feeling like shit all over again. Why? Because, you've separated your mental health from the physical. And that's not good. You must protect and strengthen your mental health as well as your physical health. And that's even if you're doing that. Because the key is to first identify the harmful causes. And then you'd be able to take steps to lessen the impact of what's harming your mental health. And the first step, of course, is to see an acupuncturist and make acupuncture a part of your life. That is step number one. But now, there are several things that is harming your mental health, and one of them, which I speak of a lot, is not getting enough sleep. And lack of sleep tends to negatively impact your mental health. Because normally when you're sleeping at night, those are the hours of yin. And yin is being empowered so that it can nourish yang during the day when you're awake and you're not feeling fatigued. So sleep, prioritizing sleep and developing or establishing a regular sleep schedule is super important for maintaining mental well-being. Because lack of sleep can lead to numerous health problems. Because now you're becoming yin deficient. And that balance between yin and yang is very important. And when yin is deficient, yang eventually becomes deficient as well. Another thing that can be negatively impacting your mental health is poor diet. A diet that lacks essential nutrients. And if you're partaking in a diet of ultra-processed foods, because it lacks essential nutrients, it can negatively affect mood and the brain and lead to mood swings and numerous bouts with irritability. And this comes from a lot of times due to low levels of vitamin D as well as vitamin B. Because low levels of those two vitamins can contribute to depression. And many individuals don't know that. Another contributing factor is lazy lifestyle, like lack of physical activity or exercise, is tied to high rates of anxiety as well as depression. Why? Because when you exercise regularly, it releases endorphins. which is like that natural get high, which makes you feel good. You didn't have to drink alcohol. You didn't have to do drugs to get that feeling. And as these endorphins are being released, you're going to seek out another hit the next day. And guess what you're doing now? You're exercising regularly and getting naturally high, which is good for you because it boosts your mood. And also, leading a lazy lifestyle, it can lead to weight gain and as well as poor physical health that further impacts your mental health. Another is social isolation. Now, as human beings, we're social creatures by nature, whereas isolation tends to lead to feelings of loneliness as well as depression. And if it's prolonged, see, some isolation is good. You need that. You need to just be by yourself and touch base and remind yourself who you are, what you stand for, what you represent, and what your purpose is. Yeah, that's good. But you see, prolonged social isolation can worsen mental health conditions, such as depression and anxiety. So building as well as maintaining relationships, as far as friendships, it's good for your mental health. It really is. Another thing that can harm your mental health is chronic stress. Acute stress is great. And I know some of you are like, what, is he serious? Yeah, I'm very serious. Acute stress is good for you. But persistent stress, chronic stress, can take a toll on your mental health. And it can also lead to burnout as well as anxiety. Because chronic stress tends to affect the body's ability to function properly. It can disrupt your sleep. It can cause qi, deficiency of the spleen and stomach, which negatively impacts your digestion. It can cause wei qi deficiency, which impacts your immune function. So you have to find ways to manage stress. One of them is seeing an acupuncturist and making acupuncture a part of your life. Why? Because health is wealth. The wealth is not in any bank account, whether it's a retirement account, a cryptocurrency account, checking account, saving. Doesn't matter. That's not where the wealth is. The wealth is in you. The wealth is not in your pocket, your purse, or your wallet, nor is it under the doghouse in the backyard. Okay? And see, when you make acupuncture part of your life, you would really come to understand that. Now, another thing that can harm your mental health is substance abuse. Abusing substances like drugs or alcohol can worsen mental health issues. Because when you abuse substances, it often leads to a cycle of dependency, and it worsens symptoms of depression as well as anxiety. And it can also interfere with the effectiveness of mental health treatments. All right, if you find, and I'll say this again, and I've said it 1,000 times, if you find yourself being addicted to alcohol or drugs and you feel you're struggling to get off of it, see an acupuncturist, because there are special protocols that can help you with drug and alcohol addiction. That's why so many rehab centers staff acupuncturists, because they're fully aware of that. Now, another thing that can negatively impact mental health is negative self-talk. When you're constantly in a state of negative self-talk, this can destroy your self-esteem and contribute to depression and anxiety. Because this negativity would find its way in becoming a normal way of thinking, and it can lead to negative outlooks on a negative outlook on life, I should say. Think of the things that you're good for. Think of how you can not only affect society in a good way, but what are some of the good things about you? What are some of the good things that you're good at doing? And if you still have a question mark pertaining to certain things, try it and find out. You'll be surprised. Another is unhealthy relationships. Don't get in a relationship with anyone just to say I have someone in my life. That is not good. Because toxic relationships can drain a person of their emotional energy, and it tends to contribute to stress as well as anxiety. So if you find yourself constantly in conflict with someone, or that other person doesn't support you, then it can lead to feelings of worthlessness. You want to set certain boundaries for yourself, and you want to be around people that support you, that also make you laugh, that make you feel good. That's very important. Another is financial problems. Unfortunately, can negatively impact your mental well-being. Why? Because financial problems tend to lead to depression and anxiety and a sense of hopelessness. You know, when you're constantly worried about debt or bills or financial security, it can negatively impact or disrupt your daily life. You know, so you want to develop a budget for yourself and stick to it. Or sit and talk with someone who's great with giving financial advice. Because when you get your money issues under control, you'll notice that your stress levels can and will reduce a great deal. You know what? Do me a big favor, guys. If you're lifting something heavy right now, whether you're in the gym, moving furniture at home, or it's a part of your job, just rest it down. Take a second, rest it down. If you're operating a vehicle, if it has wheels, pull it over to the side of the road. If it has propellers or wings, land at your nearest airport. And if you're crossing the street, I need you to hurry up and safely get across the street, because now I need you to close your eyes. And I need you to say to yourself, acupuncture is my life. And now open them. Boom. You are now brand new. And brand new you are. Now another so-called thing that can harm your mental health is having lack of purpose. Like where there's no meaning or direction in your life. That can result in anxiety or stress, as well as a sense of hopelessness. If you feel there's no goal, you have no goal in life, or a sense of meaning in life. That's when you may need to sit down and talk with someone, as well as an acupuncturist. Because when you have purpose, you look forward to waking up the next day and striving toward that purpose, which is super important. Because lack of purpose can negatively impact mental health. Another is put the damn phones down. Put the cell phones down. Digital overload. I mean, you know, we have the ability or tendency to overwhelm ourselves, overstimulate ourselves, because we're constantly using our phones, playing video games, on social media, which in a lot of ways, especially social media, gives you that dopamine rush. And if you don't get the same rush or more the next day because you didn't get likes or people saying you're awesome the next day, then you're starting to crash and you start feeling bouts of anxiety and depression. Put the phone down. See an acupuncturist. Add exercise to your life. meditation, along with your daily routine, and you won't have time for the phone. Because constant exposure to negative news and social media can lead to feelings of worthlessness and inadequacy. I know easier said than done, but it is something that has to be done. Now, another is not getting enough sunlight. Doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. You need sun. Not only does it result in vitamin D deficiency, which is linked to depression, but sunlight tends to regulate mood through the production of serotonin, which is a mood stabilizing hormone. So spending time outside or outdoors can improve your mental health. Sometimes just getting out, it doesn't matter what the weather is, just taking a little walk. And then as you notice your mood is getting better, you may stay out a little longer. You may find yourself hanging out a little longer and looking forward to getting out the next day and the day after that. Another is unresolved trauma. Many of us globally have experienced trauma that is not resolved. And see, this past trauma, if you don't address it, it tends to negatively impact mental health. And it can lead to conditions such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, and more. So don't be afraid to seek professional counseling. And if you don't have anyone in mind, contact Acupuncture My Life, because we have psychotherapists, psychiatrists, psychologists in our network that we can put you on to in private. Okay? And these things are important. Another is overworking. Too much of anything is no good. Too much of anything, especially as far as work, can lead to burnout, mental exhaustion. That means that you're not balancing your life properly, your work life, or life period, and it'll result in depression or stress and anxiety. You need time for relaxation. This is why acupuncture is important, because it's about yin and yang. It's about balance. Balance is super important. So do me a favor and make acupuncture a part of your life, because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?